Good evening, gamers. This video is unscripted, just kind of a list of topics I wanted to bring up. First, I want to talk about the Edge of Fate and the things I'm most excited for, and then I want to talk about the direction the channel's going to be taking and so on, and where we're just going from there. So let's talk about Edge of Fate first, though. I'm excited for 5 things. Well, obviously there's a lot more, but 5 things I'll bring up today. First of those, just kind of a minor one, but the artifact is looking great. Solar, Strand, and Stasis are my 3 favorite subclasses in the game, so I'm extremely excited to see how crazy those go. After seeing Arc get its turn at being ridiculous, Solar's back in, Strand and Stasis. I've been loving Stasis Titan, that thing is fire. Not literally, but yeah, no, the artifact is looking really fun, so I'm excited to see that. And I know this one's going to be controversial, but the Prismatic Nerfs have me really excited, because I am so tired of Prismatic on all 3 classes, honestly, but especially on Titan, just being so good. They're Swiss Army knives, they can do anything. There are very few reasons to run anything else right now outside of some really big outliers, you know, like I guess Will of Radiance or Arc Titan, right? But as a general rule, Prismatic is far and away the best in the game out of all the subclasses, and it's a little bit too much, you know. So the initial nerfs down to 1 fragment, personally I would have been on board, but they did walk that back a little bit, so now Prismatic is still going to be fantastic, but we did need to take a little bit off the top rather than buffing everything else up to Prismatic, because the power creep that would have happened if they decided to go that direction would have really made it super hard to create any kind of challenging content. You know, we don't want to end up with, what was it called? Reckoning. We don't want to end up with a Reckoning where the only possible way that Bungie can kill us anymore is by pushing us off the map. So I don't want that again. And Prismatic has been fun, and it still will be. It'll still be great and really, really strong, especially for survivability, but I'm really glad its time in the spotlight is kinda sorta coming to a close. Next, I'm really excited for primaries being iterated on, and guns in general being really good. With the Prismatic nerfs being part of this, but the other archetypes they're introducing, you know, we got the Rocket Pulse, yeah, Rocket Pulse, that's crazy, hello? And then that primary, I believe it's the exotic, the Stasis and Arc one, that looks really good. There's also the new frame of like shotgun hand cannon, looks super cool, and I'm really, really on board with them making primaries a little bit more unique, because as of right now, primaries aren't killing enemies in harder content, you know? You're not really using it to get a lot of kills. You're generally using your primary for, you know, a battery for your abilities and such, which is still fine, and I think that's a really good role for primaries to have. However, I do think it would be nice if there's a little bit more variety and they actually were able to, you know, do some real damage to at least, you know, orange bars, red bars. So that's looking really exciting. That is really going to make me more invested in the perks and the just general build crafting, including primaries. As fun as Double Special is, it is really, really oppressively strong right now. It's rare that I'm even busting out a primary unless I have a particular reason, so I'm really looking forward to this. Hopefully they'll introduce more weapon archetypes that are equally cool, so yeah, we'll just see. So with all of those things, you know, the Prismatic nerfs, the artifact, and guns in general just kind of getting a little bit more attention, build crafting potential is going crazy. You can actually play how you want. Now, of course, we're going to have to see how it shakes out, right? We might have to invest a lot in like health and then weapon damage or super, you know, however the numbers end up shaking out. But even so, I definitely see the vision Bungie's going for. And over time, I'm certain after a couple patches, you know, there's never a patch where, you know, new expansion, everything is perfectly balanced. That's never going to happen in any game. But Bungie has really been honing their sandbox for the game. And I'm really excited to see where this next step goes, because all of our previous gear is still going to be good, right? Velocity Baton is still going to be ridiculously strong, all that kind of stuff. But with this new gear system, I'm actually going to be able to play more than just, oh, you're on a hunter for this boss? Yeah, you should probably be running Golden Gun. Oh, you're on Titan? Yeah, throw on Arc. You know, that kind of thing. I'm really tired of that. I would like to see players be able to be like, you know, I want to play like a sniper type role. I want to make sure that my guns that I really like are doing the most. So I'm going to feed into buffing myself, buffing my guns, you know, having that be part of my build with the, you know, weapons stat or whatever it ends up being. Or melee, you know, grenade. It's looking much more dynamic than what we have currently. So I'm super excited for that extra depth. And who could forget armor? Actually, I could forget armor. That's kind of the problem with it right now. So armor being relevant as well, that's so cool. I'm so ready. So Editor Solstice here, and I just wanted to make sure to include this beautiful piece of information that we got in the TWAB today. Oh my god. It's beautiful. Thank you, Bungie. Oh my god, thank goodness. So this was one of my biggest reservations about the stat changes, is how mandatory 100 resilience is right now, and they are just making that baseline. I am so ready. Thank you. End of editor's note. And the thing that I am most excited for, kind of a cop-out, gonna be honest, it's just that it's a new era of Destiny. You know, whenever there's a big expansion drop, right, like a Forsaken or a Final Shape, right, it really kicks things up a notch. And while Final Shape was obviously the most recent expansion, Edge of Fate is really the closest thing we're going to be getting to a Destiny 3 for a long time. And I think that's great. You know, I'm really excited for the new metas, I'm sure there's going to be some really unbalanced stuff for a little bit. There always is some kind of outlier. Remember Prometheus Lens, Lord of Wolves, you know, when that was recently insane, all that kind of stuff. But just being along for the ride with Destiny has been extremely fun. Every single year, every single expansion, I've just loved seeing how the game evolves and just adapting to what's new, what changes. So with the loot, all of our, you know, previous loot being usable, but still, you know, really good, right? Like a velocity baton is going to be insane still. But the general legendary is definitely going to be less desirable. And I actually am on board with that. I am totally fine with getting more gear that's new and shiny and actually has better effects, you know, synergizes with armor perks and whatnot with how they're redoing that. I'm so ready to not be ridiculously overpowered. And it also is great because new players are going to be at a similar power level to someone with thousands of hours in the game like myself. So it's really a great time to get into the game. And that, of course, is obviously my jam. I love new players. But just how everything's going to play out, the fact that we don't really know yet, I just know I'm going to have a great time. And with the new content, we're going to have a lot more fun raids, dungeons, everything that comes out. I just can't wait. Actually, I lied. One more. Ammo meters? Hello? Oh my goodness. Finally, dude. I am so ready for this. Ammo meters have been the coolest thing that I am most looking forward to for real. The amount of times I have just either had to wipe or had to just wait it like multiple minutes per phase just so I can farm some ammo, and I have no idea when I'm gonna get it. Sometimes I have just basically unlimited heavy, and then other times I get like maybe a finder drop every 20 packs of ads. It's awful. And so that the ammo situation just being more consistent, especially being able to actually build into it with armor, I think that's really interesting. And at the very least, no matter how the armor, you know, ends up affecting it, the ammo meter being there just so you know exactly when you're gonna get ammo. Oh my god, thank goodness. I am just so tired of waiting. Look at this clip. I'm literally putting this clip up right now. Look at us waiting on Ultimatum Prophecy boss, and we're just sitting there. You know, there's nothing pushing us to go. It's not like part of the challenge is go real fast to the next phase. Like, nope. You're just sitting there farming red bars for ammo until you get lucky. And it's like, that isn't fun. And obviously, you know, Bungie is acknowledging that. by introducing this new ammo system, so that is actually the #1 thing I'm most excited for. Enough expansion hype for now. Let's talk about my channel. Since, I will be streaming the expansion day 1, of course, and I'm going to be doing a contest raid with my group. That will absolutely be on my stream. Follow that if you need. But as far as the future of the channel, I thought, and I said before, that I was going to try and get out 2 videos a week. Working a full-time job as well as working the full-time job that is Destiny 2 on top of content creation and generally taking care of life. Right now 2 videos is probably a little bit much for me, and so I'm going to focus on getting 1 video out. Hopefully that'll be a little bit more high quality. Previous ones, I like my previous videos, the current ones I have up on the channel, but I do want to put more effort into it. And so definitely, keep an eye out for that. 1 video a week is what I'm going to be shooting for. And not every time will it be a educational thing. Obviously, that's, something I really am going to be pushing. I want to make sure there's a lot of information for anybody who wants to improve at the game. I want that to be really well covered on my channel. But sometimes I just want to give opinions or be funny. I have some pretty interesting ideas. Gonna try and see if my clan can be tricked into recording some of that with me. But I also will say I'm likely not going to be doing any kind of direct build guide. I'm not going to be like Mactix, I think. Yeah, Mactix. He does a lot of builds. People like him for that. And that's cool. It's just for me, that's not what I want to focus on. And so other YouTubers, content creators, everybody is going to have that covered for you. Like if you want a specific build, there are plenty of great YouTubers to check out. I definitely recommend probably Mactix right now. He has some really interesting builds, stuff like that. Maven is another one. I love Maven. Her channel's great. But my channel is likely not going to see much of that. I'm not really like a here's the news guys type of channel. It's not really what I want to focus on. But there are plenty of sources for that, so that's something you may not see here. And as a general rule, though, it's very flexible. If viewers end up really wanting to see, my builds, if they really want to suggest anything, hey, leave that in the comments. If y'all are wanting to see it, I'm totally down. I just want to make content that's going to help people the most, or at least sometimes entertain the most people I can. So, yeah, just let me know if there's anything you have that you want to see. And really, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I'm really excited for Edge of Fate, and I am blown away. Like, I know every YouTuber, every single content creator is like, wow, guys, I'm so blown away by the support. But really, like, this is so far really nice. I've gotten a couple hundred subs really quickly, and it's very encouraging. I want to keep making more content for you. So just let me know if you have any suggestions or feedback. Leave them in the comments, Discord, wherever. And I will do what I can for you. I'm really excited for the future of Destiny, and I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, so subscribe if you haven't already, man. See you around.